Hey everyone, Tom Staley here. If you're approaching Medicare, you're probably aware that there's some important decisions just around the corner. One of the biggest being, do I enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan or do I go on to add a Medicare supplement? Today we're going to break down these options so you can make an informed decision as you approach the age 65. Before we start talking about the differences between these two options, I want to clear up a few common misconceptions. The first being, most people believe that you have to enroll in either one of these, and that's not the case. These are both optional. You do not need a Medicare supplement, and you do not need a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, that being said, most people do go on to add one or the other, with the majority of people enrolling in the Medicare supplement. Another common misconception would be some people might think that they should have both. And actually, you cannot have both. It really is one or the other. All right, so it's important to know that before you add either option, you first must enroll in Part A and B of Medicare. Now, from my previous videos, you might know that Part A and B of Medicare have some significant gaps left behind. Medicare was meant to help pay for your healthcare costs, but it was never meant to cover it fully. So what I mean by gaps is there are deductibles and copays and coinsurance, and those are something that you're responsible for. So looking specifically at a Medicare supplement would be used in conjunction with Part A and B, and it would kind of plug in and cover certain gaps that you wish to cover. Now, Medicare Advantage, on the other hand, is quite different. Essentially, instead of receiving your Part A and B coverage through the federal government, you're now receiving those benefits through a private insurance company, and they are administering your health insurance. All right, to further explain the differences between the two, I've created this chart. On the left, we have Medicare Supplement, and on the right, we have Medicare Advantage. So looking at networks, Medicare supplements do not utilize networks, meaning it works just like Part A and B, where you can go to any doctor or provider in the nation that accepts Medicare patients. Medicare Advantage, on the other hand, typically utilize networks. Depending on the plan, you might have a strict network, meaning you must utilize their network, and if you were to go outside of it, you're going to pay all the costs. And some are a little bit more lenient, where if you do go out of the network, they might pay some, but you're still going to pay the majority. This is an important factor, especially if you plan on doing any sort of traveling or let's say you go south for the winter. This is something you would really want to consider when looking at these options. Next, I want to talk about choosing a primary care physician and possibly needing referrals to see a specialist. So with a Medicare supplement plan, you can continue using the doctor you've been using so long as they accept Medicare patients. And that is the majority of doctors out there. So there's a good chance that your current doctor is accepting Medicare patients. When you enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan, however, you typically have to choose a primary care physician. And if your current doctor is not in the network, then you might have to choose a new one. As for needing referrals to see specialists, with a Medicare supplement, you do not need referrals. And with Medicare Advantage plan, you typically will need a referral to see a specialist. Next, let's talk about prescription drug coverage, or also known as Part D of Medicare. If you have Part A and B of Medicare and a Medicare supplement, you would typically go on to add what's called a standalone prescription drug plan. And these are offered through private insurance companies. Now, Medicare Advantage plans typically rope in prescription drug coverage, and those plans are called Medicare Advantage Prescription Drug Plans, or MAPD plans. Looking at premiums and out-of-pocket costs, you'll notice that with either option, you continue paying your Part B premium, which in 2020 is $144.60 a month, and in 2021 will go up to $148.50 a month. So in addition to the Part B premium, you will also pay an additional premium for your Medicare supplement. And the price is going to be dependent on which plan you choose and with which company. And I have plenty of other videos going over that topic. Medicare Advantage plans, however, are typically free, meaning all you do is you pay your Part B premium and there's no additional cost for the Medicare Advantage plan. Now, you might say that sounds too good to be true, but we have to remember that premium is only one side of the cost. The other category of costs would be out-of-pocket costs. So when we look at these two options, I like to imagine a scale. And on one side, we have the premium, and on the other side, we have out-of-pocket costs. Looking at Medicare supplements, the premiums are usually a little bit more, but the out-of-pocket costs, meaning when you need services, what do you pay at the doctor and things like that, they're typically less. The supplement tends to cover a lot of those. Now, on the other side, if you look at Medicare Advantage, you kind of flip that scale where your premiums tend to be lower, but if you were to need services, depending on which plan you choose, those costs can get a little bit higher. Looking at additional benefits, some Medicare supplement plans may include some foreign emergency travel coverage, whereas Part A and B of Medicare don't cover anything outside of the United States. Medicare Advantage plans may include dental, vision, and hearing, which is not covered by Part A and B of Medicare, and they may also include gym memberships or things like Silver Sneakers programs. And finally, I want to talk about the enrollment of each of these options. So Medicare Advantage on the right is nice because there's an annual window, and it's during the fall, and the dates are October 15th through December 7th. You basically get to reshop all the Medicare Advantage plans and make a switch if you would like. Medicare Supplement enrollment is quite different. There's really one significant time to enroll in a Medicare Supplement, and that is when you first turn 65 and enroll in Part B of Medicare. This window is called your Medicare Supplement Open Enrollment Period, and it only lasts 6 months, so it's pretty short. But the reason why it's so significant is because during this time, you can go to enroll in any Medicare supplement you want with any company you want, and there's no health questions asked. The only question they can ask you is if you use tobacco or not. Now, outside this window, if you ever want to change Medicare supplements, switch companies, or maybe you don't have one but you want to add one, you can do so at any time during the year. But the difference is that now you have to answer health questions or go through what's called health underwriting. This is very significant because if we look back at the scale, when someone first turns 65, they might not go to the doctor a lot. So they think, maybe the Medicare Advantage plan is pretty attractive. I can save money on premiums because I don't go to the doctor a lot. Well, they might also think that in the future when they get older or if they get sick, they'll just switch to a Medicare supplement. Well, when are you going to make that decision? Probably when it's too late and you can't pass underwriting. I really try to do a good job when working with people to drive this point home, and that is that it's a one-way street. You can always go from Medicare supplement to a Medicare Advantage plan because of that annual enrollment window, but you're not always guaranteed to go from a Medicare Advantage plan to a Medicare supplement because you have to pass health underwriting. If you have any questions about these two options, or maybe you're wondering what would be a good fit for you, please feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you navigate your decisions. Thanks, and have a great day.